When you guys were younger, or maybe now in recent years, did you ever come up with a production company name?
Yeah, it was Super Try Studios.
Yeah.
I completely forgot. Not that I don't think about you, Kevin, all the time. And
Thank
your effort. In my mind, they're like, it's a Kevin Cole joint. I know there's more than just you.
Yeah, we did make film do good, Chad.
Oh, yeah. I love Make Film Do Good. Yeah.
We both, Kevin and I, have production companies.
Yeah.
I guess I do. I guess I have an LLC.
Yeah.
You have an LLC?
Yeah. I made one like 10 years ago.
Isn't that like expensive?
It was $900.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but it was, it's paid for itself back in taxes saved over the years.
Oh, that's cool.
Cloud Dad LLC. I don't know if I feel like I say the name, you have power over it. Like it's like your true name.
like we're pixies or something.
Yeah. I took a long time to do it because at least in my college classes, you had that thing where like everyone's a freshman year in TV production. Everyone's got like dreams of being Tarantino. So everyone like writing your crush's name in your notebook, you just kind of write down your production company that doesn't actually exist.
Manifesting it, yep.
It's the one from The Office where Michael Scott's like, Great Scott, or whatever.
Great Scott Productions was fantastic.
Yeah, it's that kind. It's cute. It's cool, actually. I think it's rad. If anyone does, that's awesome. But I had a reservation about doing it for a while.
Can I ask, Chad, what's the origin of Cloud Dad? Because you've had it for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just a term for God I came up with that made me laugh.
Yeah.
Referring to God as a big cloud dad.
It is very evocative for that. I think of a father in the clouds for sure.
Yeah, it just made me laugh. I was picturing like a Tim Taylor,
like you're praying to like getting down on your hands and knees and being like, "Dear Cloud Dad, help me."
Yeah. It just made me laugh, so I named it that. When I was in college, it was Concussion Productions, and I had a little logo with a moon man and a crater in the side of him, and he was sad.
Aww. Did you watch Journey to the Moon and come up with that one?
I actually did that before I saw Journey to the Moon and realized so I should have said yes. I was a deep reference to that classic original film, but no, I just thought the name I associate with head trauma,
Back in high school, when I was doing film stuff, I had my little logo thing, and it was still Super Try, but the logo, I got my friend Brian, who did all the art in the Space Kings book. He made me a catfish with rainbow wings playing a bass guitar.
Hell yeah!
Wait, just the epitome of like Kevin Cole energy. Is that the idea?
Yeah. I mean, it was just something really fucking cool. And
I like that.
I don't know. Super Try. I change like the origin of like what the name means every time I talk about it, but like that you're totally right, Chad. That energy of like doodling your production company and your logo and thinking about how it looks before the greatest film you've never made happens, or the greatest game you've never made. And like I see a lot of folks in the game sphere being like, if you're doing a trailer, don't start it with your. If it's your first game, don't start it with your little logo or whatever, because no one knows who the fuck you are.
Sure.
I know, and that's like 3 seconds that someone might roll their eyes and click away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I agree. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
Well, I don't agree with it either, because I put my little Super Try logo in front of every single game I make, and I've gotten comments being like, "Man, when you see the Super Try logo, you know it's going to be good," and that makes me feel really happy.
I love it.
It's like the A24 of indie game development.
It is. Also, like, I mean, proof of concept. I think working in game retail in high school, I was like, I don't know who American McGee is, but he clearly must be important to put his name in front of his games. And I still know who American McGee is.
Yo, for real though, like American McGee made like 2 games, and people were like, "Yeah, American McGee,
American McGee, it's American McGee classic. It's you just put it out there. Just put your name in front of things you do."
American McGee did work on Doom, right? Like that's where American McGee
did he or she or they?
American McGee did. Yes, they did work on Doom. They were friends with John Carmack for sure.
But like even John Carmack wasn't going like, was he? I don't think John Carmack was like, John, maybe he did. What was that game he made that failed? That was a big flop.
Romero?
John Romero. That's right. It was Romero and Carmack were both Johns.
Yeah. And John Romero was the more flamboyant of the two and was the one who, was like all style, big style man. And John Carmack was big brain man. They both had big brains, but,
Just put your name in front of stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you make a nice dinner for someone and you go like, hey, this is a Chad Quant dinner.
You did do that when I came out to LA and you made dinner for me. Actually, it was Heidi that made dinner for us, but you put your name on it anyway.
I still put my name on it. I took credit for it.
Yeah, I thought it was really weird that you did that. I was like, this guy only worked on Doom. He doesn't deserve to put his name on this dinner.
I'd say if multiple people worked on a thing like a video game, maybe reject auteur theory a little and don't just put your name on it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I like using Super Try as a collective for like when I work on something with my friends. I've made other games and put them on. There's a secret like Itch Kevin Cole channel where like I put like my really weird shit.
I never heard of this.
That's where Kevin puts the filthy shit. That's where he puts like the dirty.
Is that where the adult games are?
Yeah, that's where all the porn games is. That's where the hentai clickers are. I think there's a D&D 5e like race generator thing that I made that's really stupid that I love. And I don't know, it's just stuff that isn't really games. There's a podcast I did once on there. Like, it's just a weird repository of stuff that doesn't belong anywhere.
I love
that doesn't have the Super Try name on it. Super Try is when I do something with other people most of the time.
Oh, I love that. I think it's a great way to go about it.
Hey, speaking of American McGee and PlayStation 2 games, isn't it wild that we've got this Evergrace sequel out now called Elden Ring? Evergrace? Anyone?
I'm trying to recall if I remember Evergrace. I'm quickly Googling.
I felt like I was running on like a bunch of falling platforms trying to keep up with your train of logic there as you were going.
We have referenced this game on the podcast before because I remember this cover at Game Crazy. We talked about it on Goosebuds.
Well, is this pre-Kingsfield or post-Kingsfield? This is post.
This is during Kingsfield. This is post-Kingsfield because Kingsfield was the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
But I think the Kingsfield we got for the PlayStation 1 was like Kingsfield like 5 or something. Like they didn't release a whole bunch of Kingsfields. Fields of Kings.
Kings plural. The King's putting his name on the field.
Yes.
Yeah, what did that king ever do?
Well, some bad stuff. And
we had to be rectified, and that's why we entered the field.
You know, when your catacombs are full of slimes and living plants, you done fucked up as a monarch. Like, you got some administrative issues.
I love that Jeff Foxworthy joke structure. I like that a lot. Yeah,
you might be a bad king.
You might be a feudal lord. Kevin, welcome to joining us. All we are now the Goose Buddies are all
elders,
deep within
all
Elden
tarnished.
Ring.
We're all tarnished now.
Oh God, I'm tarnished as fuck, boys.
Yo, how about that opening speech?
Oh God,
the loathsome dung eater is the best line read.
When he said dung eater, I was like, "Are we serious right now?" Like, I was like vibing to it, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's all over the place. It goes from like the mysterious gold face. I'm like, okay,
the
so it's
golden
like a Bond villain or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then going to poo poo caca eater. It's like, what is going on in this game? And then I don't see any of them for 80 hours in this fucking thing.
I know.
and the one time, like the first time you do get to see loathsome dung eater, he's just like, fudge off, you fuck. And you're like, okay, bye. Thanks for talking to me.
But do you literally like, I was like, do you literally eat poop?
No, he's just maybe he does. He defiles corpses is his thing. He just is he's a troll.
He's a stinky stink man. Yeah.
He's a troll who hates the world and he wants to just fuck up everything until everything is defilement instead of order is his whole jam.
I have 140 hours in Elden Ring at this point. And I have no idea what the hell is going on. I am that Tim Robinson, I think you should leave sketch where he's driving the car. And he's like, I don't know how any of this works. Like, I don't know. I'm just a guy running around. I don't know. I'm Humbert, the big nose.
That's fine.
Cast magic.
That's fine to be that. That's how we all are, Chad. That's life, is to be like that.
I've been rocking that samurai.
Me too.
For about, I think, 40 hours now.
Dope. I kept getting new stuff even armor, and I was like, that stuff is good enough that I got on me. It's not going to be better than this. So
yeah, samurai starts strapped. The only upgrade I made to the samurai kit was I found a second Uchigatana, and now that's in my other hand.
Shit.
Yep.
Am I basically playing as a samurai?
Yes,
I'm like,
you are,
I'm all
Chad.
intelligence dexterity with double katanas. Like,
Nice.
I just got the magic katana that you have, Chad.
Moonveil?
I finally respect for that, and I am basically playing the same build as you at this point.
Yeah, I'm just Virgil from DMC, and then whenever someone gets too scary, I step back and throw rocks at them.
Yeah, you throw a couple
That's how
rocks.
I'm playing this
Shit.
game.
Yep.
Are we all doing a fucking samurai build?
I guess so. I started as astrologer, which I was like, cool.
Yeah, you came from the other side.
Yeah, and then I immediately just started like, well, I guess I'll just get these cool swords that let me shoot magic.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Oh, dude, the Moonveil magic, it rocks.
I have this weird vibe where like if I read through the Reddit for Elden Ring, there's a lot of people like trying to gatekeep how you play both from software games and this one, like don't use summons or like Moonveil's busted. Don't use it's a solo player game, guys. Like what?
Don't even listen to it. Don't even those were the people that made me not play any of these games for 10 years.
Yes.
So fuck all of those people. And I'm going to play the game how I want to play it, and I'm having a great time, and I love these games now.
Yeah, this is the most, like, marshmallowy, luxurious FromSoft game I've ever played. Like, compared to everything else, like, all of these little things being like, yeah, just keep going, where, like, you can do summons, or, like, you can, there are some skills that do, like, insane amounts of damage, or you can do all your fights on the back of a horse. Like, it's so good. It's so fun.
I don't know if we talked about this in the podcast already, but I was trying to like explain to someone, maybe you, Paul, why like I had bounced off of every Dark Souls game or Demon Souls every time, and versus this one that was clicking, and I was like, Dark Souls to me feels like I'm playing a game where the DM hates me, and like it's DM versus player. He's gonna punish me. Oh, you opened a door that was an orb of disintegration. You should have realized. And Elden Ring feels more like I'm playing with a Kevin Cole DM who's like, yeah, I mean, here's the objective, but like, if you guys just want to go to like space Fizzolis and fuck around, I'll play ball.
But you know, it still has that angry DMness to it. But I feel like I like it when that happens. It's never a punishment when a bad thing happens to me. I'm always like delighted that it tricked me, because I'm like, oh, now I get to go back there and know what the trick is and dodge it and feel smart and cool. And my stuff's right there, so I'm just gonna grab it anyway, and it's fine. You know?
Yeah, it's a jovial prank,
right?
In most cases, in Elden
it's just
Ring.
a prank, bro. Or as a character from this book would say, "Oops, just joking,
just joking,
oops, just joking." That's a hell of a segue. Let's talk about.
I don't know. I mean, if you want more Elden Ring talk, we're gonna talk more Elden Ring on the next Camp Goosebuds. We're doing it now. Now that Kevin's in, so
oh yeah.
And if you don't know what Camp Goosebuds is. By the way, I'm Paul. Hi, welcome to Goosebumps.
Oh, hi. Hi, I'm Chad.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And this is Goosebuds, a show where we read Goosebumps books and give them the hard-hitting adult critique they deserve. And we have a separate show. This show is brought to you by Patreon, and we have a Patreon-only episode of the podcast that comes out once a month called Camp Goosebuds, where we talk about whatever we want. And this month, it's going to be Elden Ring.
Yeah, most likely. Chad, you've been organizing some of our patrons in the Discord with like a Elden Ring channel lately.
Oh
right?
yeah, let's shout that out real quick. Is that if you are playing Elden Ring at all, add the password to your multiplayer passwords, Goosebud, no caps, singular Goosebud. And you will get like rune bonuses, and I think more likely to see like summons and ghosts and everything from our group. It's cool to be like someone became an Elden Lord, or it's a nice.
I was like, what are these new death spots? And then I realized it was from our password, which was cool.
Yeah,
if you see someone panic rolling, that's probably me.
Mm-hmm. I know what Humbert looks like.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you've seen Humbert.
I spot Humbert. Spot him from a mile away.
What's your character's name, real quick?
Kevin.
Paul, you go first. Mine's embarrassing.
Mine's Pitsu, who petteth the cat.
Oh, you did Pitsu? That's so fucking awesome.
I did Pitsu.
Mine is Washizu, because he's Macbeth in Throne of Blood.
Fucking
and I know saying my name.
fucking sick. That's sick. That's not embarrassing.
That's fucking cool. I like that a lot.
I was like, I can't give a samurai a non-Japanese name. That'd be kind of fucked up. Maybe. But
I mean, my guy is definitely like a mall ninja. Like, definitely just a white kid pretending.
Which is true because you were an astrologer that moved over into
I was
samurai.
an astrologer and I got a cool katana sword. And I couldn't stop waving it around.
Dude, Washizu is balding. He's got a mustache. He's got debt. He's got like bags under his eyes. Yep. He's tired. He is like a dirtbag samurai, and I love him.
He really is, and he gets real arrows shot at him.
Oh. He does. That's why he looks so scary.
Real scary ass arrows.
Throne of Blood is great. Maybe that'll be a future camp episode.
I would love that. I'd love to watch that again. It's an incredible movie.
Should we talk about this piece of shit kid?
Yeah.
So imagine my disappointment.
Go on.
Imagine my disappointment as someone who's all about headless beings.
I forgot that you were real into the Headless Horseman mythology.
I love that shit. I love cephalophores and like other like headless archetypes in fiction. I love how like these ideas appear all over the world. I did like a 5th edition homebrew D&D race that's just you can be a headless hero.
Oh, that was a really cool idea.
We should link that in the description of this episode. That would be a great thing to add.
I love the little headless mythology that we got going on this planet. That's cool.
And then this book takes that mythology and uses it in the worst ways possible.
There are some interesting like themes that show up in other headless like folklore, but this is a weird one just tonally, I feel.
Yeah.
I didn't hate this one, I gotta be honest, but
really?
it just sort of left me kind of okay.
I did not like this one for the first 50 pages. Then I was like, okay. And then it ended and I was like, no, I hate this one.
Yeah, real bell curve for me too.
Yes.
Hated the beginning, hated this kid. At least he had and then okay. Once they jumped the ravine, which is maybe now a literary term.
Yeah,
it's the jumping of the shark for books.
And then when they jumped the ravine back, I'm like, no, I don't like this again.
The other side, I like the other side of the ravine. Stay there.
Stay on that ravine. It's also this is like 3 different books. It feels.
Yeah, this has some gross out in it as well. That seems pretty extreme.
It has some overall some very extreme stuff. If you don't know what we're talking about Headless Halloween, a Goosebumps 2000s book by R.L. Stine.
An R.L. Stine joint. He put his name there so you know it's him, but it probably wasn't him.
R.L. Stine was clearly tired of writing gently flawed one-note protagonists and decided to write
fully
a
flawed
sociopath asshole to get punished, which is pretty cool.
Is this the worst kid we've ever encountered?
Easily.
In a Goosebumps
terrible.
book?
Easily the worst kid. All my homies hate Brandon Plush.
That's right. His name is Brandon Plush. And the first page, what was his introduction? His name was like, my name is Brandon Plush. I love to fuck. What was it?
Make him scream is his little motto for life. He loves nothing more than scaring kids just to scare them. And I feel like we all knew a Brandon Plush or someone who was on the Brandon Plush newsletter.
Yes.
The only time Brandon Plush feels alive is when someone else is terrified.
To quote Brandon Plush, it's so funny. True panic. It always makes me laugh.
He says he has a cruel streak and he got it from his dad.
A surprising amount of self-awareness from a sociopath. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. The dad's also not in the book at all.
No.
He just mentions it, but then like mom doesn't like it, and my siblings don't like it, but my dad and I got it from him. Too bad he's in the state penitentiary.
Yeah.
Too bad he's in state prison. Too bad he's in federal prison.
Yeah.
There are a few words in this that are repeated that I find interesting, and one of them is cruel or cruelty or something like that. Like Arl really wants to drive home the fact that this kid is a piece of shit. He's cruel. He's bad.
Yep.
You're right too. He's a sociopath. I think he is the actual definition of a sociopath. Multiple times, I am assuming the author was aware of this. Brandon deals with an interaction with another person, be it a family member or a friend, and like Patrick Bateman, will just like he'll say the thing and to diffuse the situation.
And then in his internal monologue explain, I always say this one thing because it's what makes people stop bothering me so I can go back to being a terror.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've learned if I say I'm sorry, that people usually let me go. Like, or what? There's no genuine remorse.
Yeah, the exact
at all.
quote. Whenever I'm in major trouble, I lower my head and mutter, sorry, as softly and sincerely as I can. And that's usually the end of it.
I like this as far as a direction for a character. He's not fun to hang out with. He's, in fact, like terrible to be a perspective character, but I like that RL has a direction this time. Like,
right.
Yes.
I like that he started with more than just a title. The title barely interacts with this at all. He just kind of slapped this title on this concept, and he's like, these two things fit
The only
together.
reason this is called Headless Halloween is because, like, if this were a video game, that would be the move that the character does to get out of every situation that it's in.
That'd be his witch time.
It's the main moveset, yeah.
And you can't call the book Asshole Kid Who Gets What's Coming to Him.
or does he?
I mean, you could have done something with, like, the Ravine of, I don't know, Raven's Ravine.
Raven's
is
Ravine
already
is
a
cool.
better,
Yeah.
as it's called in the book. But yeah, this is definitely, to me, a title first, story second.
Right. So to set the scene, Brandon Plush, who will always be referred to fully as Brandon Plush, and never just Brandon
Plush.
Brandon Plush. He loves to scare people. He likes any person he can find. He scares them, and it gives him a boner. And he says the one time he scares his sister so hard that she throws up her entire dinner, which is
she throws up her dinner. He also babysits. He is the worst babysitter I've ever had.
Absolutely.
Where he likes to go over and doesn't do anything else but scare the kids he's babysitting. Included at one point, he's like, I'm telling them a scary story. And while they're scared, he goes upstairs to get his bag he brought with him with masks and tools. Mm-hmm. And I just liked picturing the time where he shows up originally, the parents like, all right, so, I have them to bed at 8. What's that knapsack you're bringing with you? What's that whole army bag? Oh, it's just babysitting tools. Cool, great, no questions. We'll see you.
Great questions. You've never scared our kids before. Good night.
Good night. Like, he gets caught and he feels no sympathy after his parents are like, yeah, so you're fired. Well, time for new victims.
And he knows he did wrong because when he gets fired from the babysitting job, his mom approaches him and is like, "You know what you did, Brandon Plush. You know what you did." And he goes, she forgot to pay me, and I need to go back." Like, he knows that he's in trouble, but he tries to deflect and lie his way around it, even in that moment where he's been fully caught.
You know how people act on the internet? This guy just does that. He does
it all the time.
Yes, yeah. He is posting anonymously in real life, even though everyone knows him.
His only friend is Cal, who is 7 feet tall and 3,000 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, it's 2 tons. 2 tons of bully.
Yep.
2 tons of bully, and says the word, responds to things, I took a count, responds to things with just cool 8 times.
Mm-hmm. 8 times.
Wow,
I don't know if that was a joke of RL or just forgot that he had already had that character say simply cool.
That feels low. 8 feels
low.
It
was low, but we got to remember that it was really racking up as I started keeping count, and then Cal just kind of leaves the story very quickly.
Right.
Yeah, he's only there for a third of the book.
So per page, there's a lot of cools being dropped.
He does drop 3 cools on 1 page, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 1 cool every 4 pages.
That's a lot. You're right. He's right. It's a decent amount.
Per page, it's a lot.
It's pretty good, but it felt like more. So Brandon Plush tortures everyone. When he makes his sister vomit, his mom is upset and has to clean.
Makes her throw.
He has to clean them. He really made her. She had to clean up the vomit. His mom did, and he came up with but way before it's just a prank, bro. Oops. Just joking is what he says after every horrible thing he does. Oops, just joking.
This is definitely a YouTuber, a Vitaly pranker. I'm going to go to the beach and jump over people, and it's on you if you freak out.
Right. And so we meet his family. We meet his I don't know, some other kid named Vinny. I don't even know where the hell Vinny was from. Maybe he was a cousin or something.
Yeah, Vinny, it's cousin Vinny.
Cousin Vinny. We meet cousin Vinny, who he also likes to scare. And then we meet the kids that he likes to babysit and scare. He does that by telling them the story that it's a really fucked up story he tells those kids. He tells them that their house was haunted because there was a ghost that lived there that killed killed one child just the same age as the children he's telling the story to, and the other child fled in absolute fright. And then the parents were so distraught that they sold the house to the current parents of the kids he's telling the story to.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty fucked up.
And now not to be nitpicker, something that has always bothered me with any of these, like, let's tell a scary story to a kid. Whenever it ends with, and then all of the characters died, my brain always goes to, well, then how did you know about it?
Right.
And I just feel like there needs to be, like, there's always needs to be a survivor in the story, or like the reveal, like, and it was me, or what, or something,
right,
to like make the whole thing feel real to me.
Right. Every villain knows that you leave one survivor behind to tell them what happened here today.
This is the problem of having a perspective character that is meant to be hated, that is also, you're telling a story, like they're also a storyteller, so like you can't make them a good storyteller because that would be a virtue for that character.
Right.
So I don't think we should have made him tell a story at all.
No.
And you can't have Brandon Plush tell a better story than the book you're reading, because then you're just mad at the book.
Then you're mad at the book, and Brandon Plush is showing you up, and you created Brandon Plush.
So Brandon's signature move, I guess the closest thing to the title of this book, is that he'll tell about a headless character. I think he tells it in the story he tells to the kids he's babysitting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, if I'm just getting too caught into the weeds on it, but I was really thrown by the description of he'll put a mask on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Not a haunted mask. No. A mask.
Regular old mask.
And then,
although it is a one-of-a-kind mask. He makes sure to let us know that. The person at the shop who was selling it to him, the salesman told him it was a one-of-a-kind mask, and he bought that line, and he ran with it.
Yeah, it's definitely just a Michael Myers or like a Ronald Reagan mask, and he doesn't know who that is. His big trick is he puts the mask on his head and then just pulls it off his shoulders with his head in his shoulders.
Right.
Yeah.
I.e., I'm headless. I just didn't see how the illusion ever worked. I don't know.
Yeah, this wouldn't have translated very well. You need like a shoulder padding sort of like system to like cover up your head, and I don't know. I'm with you, Chad. I'm not seeing the illusion myself here.
Yeah, I'm with you too. Maybe on this side of the ravine, people are a little more gullible than
his targets are very young with the headless thing.
That's
They're
true.
Usually pretty young,
but he uses it later to scare a real ghost.
Well,
right.
I think he just kind of pisses off a real ghost.
That's true.
It seems really insensitive and mocking when he does it to a real ghost, but he does it to other bullies and he gets his shit kicked in.
Yeah, so. That's true. They do see right through it.
I did because I'm picturing like a deflated balloon sitting on top of someone's shoulders, badly cropped in. Like when you're a kid, you're like, "Oh, I'm missing an arm," and you put your arm in your like shirt, but you can still very clearly tell there's a shoulder there. Like I just don't think the illusion works at all. But for the sake of this story, that is Brandon's signature move is the old headless,
right? And to the point of this having many tones, as we said, like we'll get through them. Oh God, we'll get through them. Brandon Plush lives in a very real world, enters a very crazy world, comes back to the real world, which has now gone very crazy, and then the real world becomes very normal again, and then it becomes crazy again.
It shifts tone a lot.
Well, let's step on the gas a little bit.
The first real prank, the sick acid prank he pulls off.
Yeah, so fucked up. It's like a real thing. I think people did it in the 90s too. A real thing of throwing acid on folks. Like that's a terrible attack.
It happens all the time. It's fucked up.
He pretends in school to run up to a random kid from the chemistry lab, I believe, and say, "Watch out, it's acid," and just throw it on their face.
Yeah, Beaker's in arms, going down the hallway, decides this will be a funny joke. Says what you said. Brandon Plush says it out loud. And the kid screams and curls up in a fetal position because he thinks he's got acid all over him.
And you know what? A teacher miraculously is there to witness it and throws the hammer down on Plush little baby Brandon Plush.
Yep, it's Mr. Benson, right?
Mr. Benson, aka Mountain.
The Mountain.
How does Brandon not think this guy is cool?
This guy sounds is cool. This guy is big and strong and cool. Like and he's like all the kids call him Mountain behind his back. They're not calling him that behind his back, Brandon Plush. That's a cool name because he's awesome. He has long hair and a ponytail.
He has dogs. He drives a van, which for some reason is used by Brandon as a he's too big, he needs a van. He's a fucking cool guy.
Yeah.
He's a cool giant man. I don't know why.
He's a big man with a big heart because he's trying to correct Brandon and defend the other kids from him. So he's trying to teach Brandon the empathy song a little bit and make, just kind of take his time up. He's like, geez, this kid has too much free time if he's going around scaring folks. Maybe I can channel that energy somehow.
Right, and he tries to put him to work. Right, he's like, you're gonna clean up the room, and to which Brandon Plush replies, "I didn't make the mess." And it's like, well, now it's time to learn a little empathy, Brandon Plush.
Yeah,
you got to learn how to deal with things like this. In his speech, while he's trying to teach him about empathy, Brandon Plush tunes it out and just lets the words hum in the back of his mind while he's thinking about revenge.
And it's like at that point where I'm like, cool, we're gonna kill this kid.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Right. And I'm with you, Kevin. I was like, okay, I see what you're doing, RL. You want to make Brandon Plush so bad that we want to see Brandon Plush suffer. But I'll argue against the ending and how it all worked out. That's all I'll say. We'll get there.
Sure.
Oh, I'll suggest an alternate ending for the book.
Please.
This is one where I'd like to hear all of our takes on it because it kind of drops the head in the last few.
It
yards.
Sure does.
That's a very mixed metaphor. But yeah, I think like Brandon is one of the more detestable characters, and I think we've talked about this in the past. Of like, I have wanted these books to do more of a. Tell me a parable. Tell me about a like someone who monkey's paw. They wish for something and they got what they wanted was too much, or they're getting they're seeing the sins of their own. Even the punishment that Brandon goes through, I don't even know if it relates to what he does to people.
No, it tries to be a Halloween Carol, and it doesn't quite hit what it's not.
It's a little bit of Ebenezer Scrooge here, I guess.
Yeah, you're right. That is kind of funny because it is not a redemption story at all.
No,
it's a parable, like you said.
Yeah, it's a parable.
All right, this is like, hey, imagine if in A Christmas Story, is that what it's called? No, that's the other movie.
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol. Christmas Story is you'll shoot your eye out.
Yeah.
Christmas Carol is if like Ebenezer Scrooge, he was a real shit person to Cratchit. And then the ghost showed up and just started to like tabletop him
like
over and over
just
again.
Elbow dropping, atomic dropping.
They just spent the night just dragging him through the sewers. Like that would be the story.
Did you just improve Dickens? Because that actually sounds fucking awesome.
It's pretty fucking good, right? Ghost of Christmas Future is like time traveling, teleporting around him, just like fucking jujitsuing him.
Fucking shoots him up with ghost bullets like Fredo in the phone booth in Godfather.
Scrooge, I've heard you've been a real mean dick to my friend Bob Cratchit. He's going through a lot right now.
How'd you like to eat a pound of coal, Scrooge?
That's a pretty sick book. I like that one.
Yeah, I like that. Man.
He seeks redemption, and they're like, no, drop his body in the ditch. And then they just do that. So, Brandon Plush hates Mr. Benson because Benson showed any kind of care and compassion for his life.
Yeah.
And decides now he's going to get it. He's going to get the Halloween goose coming.
So he's going to team up with his large friend Cal, who's not quite as large as the mountain. You should realize that the mountain was cool because his best friend Cal is also a mountain of a person. Yeah. But I love it because Brandon Plush lays out to his sister what he's going to do, that they're going to break into Mr. Benson's house, to which she says she'll get caught. And he says, Cal and I, we're too fast and too cool.
Is that the line? That's
we're too fast
awesome.
And too cool for death. That's what they are. I love that line. It's literally the line. Cal and I, we're too fast and too cool.
They are like, are we gonna do the Halloween spooks? Yeah, we'll do the headless technique. But to some level, they keep clarifying we're not gonna wear a costume. That's for kids. Brandon, what do you think you're doing? Like, what do you think your mask thing is? That's a costume.
You fool, you've played yourself, Brandon Plush, this whole time.
So his mom makes him take Maya, his sister, and her other 7-year-old friends, and Vinny, his cousin, who's dressed up as Darth Vader, which I found very funny.
Which is funny.
It's just
cool.
a funny image. And she's like, you know what'll be good is putting Brandon and Cal in positions of power and trust. So that's such a 90s thing to do. It's like, oh, kids just need responsibility.
Mom is definitely enabling Brandon Plush a lot.
The fact that the parents haven't acknowledged that Brandon maybe needs to see a therapist is troubling in its own right.
Brandon needs to be in a place where he can't exploit anyone. Paul, like you're always saying, we used to have many more jobs for sociopaths.
We used to have jobs where they would kill. A king with a really messed up field would call in a sociopath and put him to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he immediately ditches the 7-year-olds. He immediately just abandons them. But Vinny's like, I feel safe with you two guys.
The funniest joke of Vinny of like him having a hard time breathing to catch up sounded like Darth Vader for real.
That was a clever moment, RL. That was a good moment right there where he was doing the very.
So they abandoned a bunch of 7-year-old girls on Halloween and said someone will take them home.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then they throw Vinny into Dead House 3 or whatever.
It is, it's not the house of this book, but it is just a scary house.
Yes.
Hear Vinny scream and shrug and go, it'll be fine.
It's funny because they built up this house, and then we're made to think that Mr. Benson's house is actually scarier. To which we're proven wrong later. But you were taught that this house is really scary. Although a very scary thing happens when they drop Vinny off at the house. They send him up to the dark house. And they're like, go trick or treat there, and we'll wait here for you, Vinny. We promise we won't run away like we just did. Vinny runs up. They hear a shrill scream, to which they run off. And then they hear another shrill scream that's cut off midway through the scream. And then Cal's like, maybe we should go back. And Brandon Plush says, no way, I cried. He's fine. He just likes to scream. Besides, if something bad happened, it's too late anyway.
Yes, yeah. Even Cal, who shoved a kid in a locker a few pages earlier, is like, I don't know.
It's kind of like, this is a little too fucked up for me, Brandon Plush.
Maybe this isn't cool, thinks Cal, but then he's like, no, what am I saying?
I kept waiting for Cal to have the turn. Yeah, it's like,
that'd be kind of fun.
Not cool.
When he said those words, I said, I am not someone who condones violence, but I did at that moment wish that Brandon Plush would fall off the ravine into the ravine.
Well, put a pin in that, Paul. We're skipping over Cal and Brandon stealing a child's trick-or-treat bag.
Oh my god,
and then gorging themselves on the contents.
They binged this. This isn't just like, oh, they stole some kid's candy and then laugh about it. They hide around a house and just gorge themselves.
Brandon Plush pours a bag of M&Ms into his mouth and does not chew. He swallows them whole. He
doesn't taste them. He doesn't taste a one.
Doesn't even want to taste. It's the theft from the kid that's where he's getting his nourishment from.
Right. He is fully satiated off of bullying. The rest of this is a victory lap.
Yeah, he's like, I love Halloween. This is his favorite part of the holiday.
Do you guys ever have M&M's minis?
Yes.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I think they're kind of fucked up.
Is it because they turn into candy water? Like you bite into them and they're just gone? Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry, candy water?
Well, because it's like a drinkable M&M.
Yeah, you got to
sure.
As we said on the continue episode, the M&M continue episode, you got to drink them.
I would do the thing where I would I got to make these M&M minis last, and I would eat each one and pretend I'm a giant.
I know, I would do that too, Chad. And I honestly would be like, I'm like a giant person. But you know what? It was never satisfying. You ate one and it did. Because the satisfaction of an M&M is the crunchiness, right? The crunchy bite, and then the creamy chocolate deliciousness. But you don't get that from one. You just get a little peep, peep, peep. It's nothing.
Yeah. Do you guys ever get a sense of guilt, probably implanted on you by some adult, from if you eat more than one piece of candy at once, you're like, God, I'm being a real hog right now. I'm having 3 Skittles at once.
No, I would absolutely gorge myself on candy as a child, and I never felt any guilt about it.
Chad, I'm a busy man. I don't have all day to eat my candy one piece at a time. Right? And plus, if you do that, you're losing out on the combos, dude. And maybe not with M&Ms, but with Skittles, you gotta have more than one at a time, because you could have an orange one and a yellow one. And be like, wow, it's like an orangey lemonade.
I thought it was M&Ms were weird in that they marketed and presented. M&M's marketing is many troubles, right? We're not even talking about sexy M&Ms or that they eat the M&Ms crunchy guy, like they're all going to eat them. The M&M's minis, they were they were presented like a nanoswarm plague.
They were like gray goo.
They were like, there's some sort of thing of like even the M&Ms fear the minis.
The swarm of locusts that was the M&M swarm. That's right.
A Michael Crichton book, basically. Just gotta keep them contained.
Regular M&Ms were body horror, and then mini M&Ms were apocalyptic horror. Cosmic apocalyptic horror.
So Brandon Plush and Cal gorged themselves on chocolate.
The child they stole it from is crying around the corner from them, and they sit in the sight within earshot of the crying and just continually gorge themselves upon bars of candy. And they're about to leave the candy, and Cal is like, "Should we leave the candy?"
Right.
And Brandon Plush is like, "No. That's for later. We'll need it for more terror that we're going to put upon these children."
Full fucking bars.
Full, not fun size. Full bars.
Full bars.
Full bars. Yeah. Just not even chewing them. Just right down the throat.
Just down the gullet. just massage my throat.
They go to Mr. Benson's house. They make fun of him for having a van, I guess. Which is it's just a strange thing to pick on.
I'd love to have a van. I think it'd be very convenient.
Yeah. Oh my God, my dream car when I was in high school is I wanted to get a big van and like make a little mini rec room in the back. That was the whole dream.
Dude, a van is just a truck that you can use in the rain.
Wow. Wait, hold on. Let me think about that. A truck? Yeah.
All the stuff that would be in the back of your truck that would get wet, not in a van.
Think about it, America.
You ever see one of those trucks where they add the cab extension on top of it, so it looks like a little.
And then it just says that they just make a van. They just pay to have a van.
They just made a van.
Sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's
really.
sad that they do that.
Yeah. It's desperate and it's sad. Whenever I see that.
So they make fun of him for his van. He pulls off, and they start to walk up to the house to do their antics when they see two evil dogs running at them. But the dogs are stopped by chains, to which they laugh and walk around the dogs.
They're like, ha ha ha, we have thwarted dogs.
We have dogs. These are not good guard dogs because they're put perfectly in a parabola or in a arc where they cannot stop any invader in the home. So they're not very good.
You know what? Here's what I'll say. The one negative thing of Mr. Benson, don't be one of those guys that keeps your dog chained up outside. That's not cool. Don't do that.
Right. Let them be free. Buy a fence, dude. Get a fence.
Get a fence or let them be indoor dogs.
Did you notice the dogs were described as having glowing red eyes?
Yeah. What was that?
I think Mr. Benson is like some sort of like Cerberus or like
okay,
some sort of guardian to the other side or something like that.
Well, he's on the ravine. He has a castle-like house, right?
Yeah. He might be some sort of like death guardian spirit or something.
I love that. I was already thinking when we were talking about him earlier that it feels like Goosebumps and Goosebumps 2000 could really benefit from more of the Fear Street shared
mythos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the fact that there's just umpteenth amount of like haunted houses in these Goosebump books, whereas like like you said, Kevin, they might as well just be Dead House 3.
Right.
Like just let that be something like Benson just be a teacher. What? Because it doesn't matter to have him. He left. He has dogs, and there's a little bit of a myth about him. That could be real estate you use in another book.
Right. He's a teacher. He's also a Shinigami or something, and he can like make a scythe appear from his forehead or something. Like,
oh my god, I love Mr. Benson. That guy's cool.
Yeah, that dude's like level 99 at least.
This guy's been playing some Elden Ring.
So they break in to Mr. Benson's house, and this is where the book begins to go insane. Like, RL is maybe like looked up at the calendar and was like, oh shit, this is due to like this is due tonight? All right. They break in, they crack open the fridge, they find Mr. Benson's beer, and they're like, that's why he's so big, he drinks a lot of beer. And I'm like, what?
Beer makes you big, kids.
Beer has HGH in it now? Okay.
They drink none of the beer.
They drink none of the beer. But this whole time, Brandon Plush has been feeling a little sick to his stomach. And I'm just going to read the quote of what happened.
Please.
But then I had a better idea, because they're looking around for things to do. But then, because I think Cal's plan is, hey, let's throw his food all over his house. But then I had a better idea. I turned and staggered to the kitchen table, gripping the back of the chair. I leaned over and threw up all over the checkered tablecloth. I heaved up a lot. My whole dinner and all the candy I'd gobbled. Ugh, gross. Gross! Cal groaned from across the kitchen. Fucking sick. Makes me sick.
He projectile chundered all over Mr. Benson's table and just leaves it there. And that's the prank.
That's... What? Like, what? Did this happen? Like, what?
If someone did that to me, I would never get over it. Like, I would, if I came and just found spew and no idea who did it, I would never feel at peace.
That's what I'm wondering, is if this happened to RL. Like, if RL was pranked and someone came in and vommed all over his house.
Just threw up chocolate all over the nice table.
RL knew a Brandon Plush. RL knew in RL a Brandon Plush, and that's what this book is targeted at. This is a fuck you letter.
One time in high school, someone shit on my friend's car, and
That's fucked up. That's so fucked up.
That was like maybe kind of funny and maybe kind of traumatizing.
Did they just strive to get it off?
I think a hose was employed.
A hose was employed. Okay.
At a house party in high school, our good friend, our everyone loved Jen, and at the end of a party, someone shat in the back of Jen's truck pickup bed. She should have had a van. Wouldn't have happened.
Wouldn't happen.
And it was a mystery that haunted us until senior year, where one of the kids, like Chase, was like, "Oh, I did it." And then we were like, "That was fucked up, Chase. Why'd you do that?"
And then Chase was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm just gonna do it again in college, though."
Yeah. Try it again. Different crowd. Workshop it.
Maybe I should. Yeah. Like, it's a strange act to do to someone.
I mean, shitting in a pickup bed, that's easy. Shitting on top of a minivan, that's kind of impressive.
Right, at least there was like a lip to sit on for the shitting in the pickup bed. You know what I mean?
Sure, I get that. There's a little bit more of a natural bowl to a truck bed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can hide. You can do a recumbent shit.
Yeah, unlike a van, a truck is a perfect receptacle for shit.
I've never done a lying sideways poop, but
you just gotta support yourself. I guess a little bit. I don't even know if that would work.
Like you're sitting up against a tree. You just put yourself up. You put your back against those little windows in the back of the truck, and you just do your deuce right there. And again, van life. #van life. This wouldn't happen in a van.
Van should be marketed more as, if you have one of these, no one can shit inside your car.
I'm writing it for you, Ford Motor Corp. I'm writing your advertising for you. You can get the electro vans going. I got you.
All right. So the commercial is someone in an open bed truck is like hosing shit out of it, frowning, and then a perfect salt and pepper gentleman drives by in a van, gives him a look, and just shakes his head and drives off. Vans.
Hey, welcome to Don's poop-free vans. Have you ever had someone shit in the back of your car? Sure, we all do. Sorry to steal a continued joke.
No poop in here. No poop in here.
No poop.
No poop in here. Show a guy trying to poop on top of a van and fall off of it and just die.
His damn head falls off and he goes to hell. Ghost hell.
So then Brandon Plush dies. Is what happens next.
Well, the dogs get loose.
So they vom, and then their next plan is to, like, I don't know what this prank is, but they're gonna put the TV upside down. So that I guess when he's done cleaning up the vomit, he's gonna sit down and watch TV, and it's gonna be upside down, I guess.
Why is Cheers? Why is the bar upside down? What's going on? Oh, I've been got.
He goes, my life has been turned upside down by this vomit. Oh, to escape into the world of sitcoms. where everybody knows my name, and they're always glad what's happening? Why is it upside down?
Norm's walking in from the right instead of the left. I don't understand.
How dare I try and intervene in Brandon Plush's life? So they're about to pull this prank when they hear what sounds like a door slamming. It's made it to sound like Mr. Benson has gotten home, but no.
But the dogs opened the door.
The dogs open the door, escape.
They both have guns.
They both have guns. They escape their chains. When they bark, knives come out of their mouths.
Holy shit! What breed is that?
It's a pointer.
Paul, well done.
They get chased by the dogs through the home. It's terrifying. Yep. It's fucking terrifying. Yep. Brandon Plush does a full frontal somersault through a window like a ninja, like a damn ninja.
Yeah,
and lands out the window, leaving Cal behind to be ravaged by the dogs. He turns around. And Cal is yelling to him to help, and he thinks about helping briefly, but then a dog gets out, and he goes, "Fuck this," and runs off, and leaves his friend to be again ravaged by the dogs.
Yes.
Does he also leave Candy as a decoy for the dogs?
That's later.
That's later.
Okay.
That's later. And we didn't talk about Raven's Ravine, but Mr. Benson's house. We've talked vaguely about the ravine, but Mr. Benson's house is by a place called Raven's Ravine, a famous ravine in town where there's a 10-foot jump across a precipitous drop.
It's where an angry god cleft the earth in twain.
And now the teens use it for dares.
I don't know if you guys had anything similar to where you grew up, but we definitely had in Indiana and Bloomington, there was like the limestone quarry that
we had the quarries.
Jump into.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like, untold amounts of deaths. Like genuinely,
wait,
it's a terrible place.
Was there water in it?
And daring yes, but not enough, hence the deaths.
Okay.
This is just a big open one of God's scars.
God's gaping butt crack.
Yes.
Yeah.
God's gaping butt crack. Thank you. That kids dare each other to jump over 10 feet wide. That seems pretty far.
I was tempted. I didn't do it. I was tempted to Google how far can a normal human jump, because I wanted to know if 10 feet was really that far.
I looked up Olympic long jumping is around apparently 30 feet, which I was like, damn, that's much farther than I thought.
Wow.
That seems more than any human being without training could ever do.
Yeah, it's like 2 5-foot kids. So
that's a lot. That's a lot. If you put 2 5-foot kids head to toe, across, I'm not sure I could jump across both of those kids without hurting them.
No, I'd land on one of their heads for sure.
And unless there was at least like a height difference on one side, I could guess maybe you could like make it by fall.
Right, if you had a little elevation, maybe.
Maybe.
But Brandon Standing Jump Plush says, I'm just going to standing jump across.
I'm going to flatfoot this bitch. And he does.
And he makes it. End of story.
Or does he?
He totally makes it. He blacks out, and then when he wakes up, he's gripping the side of the ravine, and he scrabbles up.
He does. I wrote this down because there's a thing that RL likes to do. And RL, what you know. But he wants to insist that you don't know what you know until it truly was what you knew. That's RL's MO the whole time of every book.
Yeah, he's like, it's not what you expect, even though it would make total sense for you to expect that.
Yes.
But guess what? It is what you expect. I lied to you.
I lied to you the whole time. Oops. Just joking.
So he wanders around this creepy, lightless, silent town for a while.
The silent hill.
The silent hill, if you will. Yeah, once he on the other side of the ravine, everything is quiet and empty. There's no strangely no Halloween celebration going on whatsoever.
Yep. When he meets a figure walking the streets,
wearing the same one-of-a-kind mask that Brandon Plush owns.
And he introduced himself as Norband.
Now you might go, Norband, that's a weird name.
Yeah, and I gotta say, RL, next time, just call him Nodnarb. We all see what you're doing here.
We knew what it was.
He tries to hide it, but like quickly going like, "Oh, I prefer to be called Norb. Don't think about my full name." And the
don't think too hard about that anagram that I just said to you.
The town's called Nilbog, huh?
It's Goblin. All right, so he goes. Norb is like Norb.
That's what this says upside down Cheers. They say when everything's not completely right.
Wasn't that Eddie Murphy movie?
Norbit.
That's what I'm thinking of. Norbit.
So Brandon is like, "How do I get out of here? Also, I'm hungry." And Norb's like, "Well, I'm going to a Halloween party. You should come too, or not. I don't give a fuck." And Brandon's like, "I guess I will." But you gotta answer some of my questions about why everything's so mysterious. And Norb's like, "I super won't."
I won't do it. Follow me if you want. I don't give a shit.
Was this where there was like the one kind of scary line? Because you're already like, well, this is hell. This is some sort of hell realm, obviously. I think Norbit says something like, "There's not a lot of kids here" or something. And I remember going like, oh, that's kind of a poetic way to be like, there's more dead adults than kids. I don't know. I was trying to like look for anything in this.
Right.
I don't want to like contradict that, so I'm not gonna, because I would be really bummed to find out if that was untrue.
God, imagine what this is in the book, or that you go to heaven or hell and just like, oh man, it's all fucking adults. And I'm like 14. I got no one to hang out with. Jesus Christ, what is this? Every one of my family reunions.
This place is a fucking heaven for Brandon, and it is literally, which we find out later. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
But
if you were reading along with us, that's what we're talking about the book. Yeah. So at the party, it's a bacchanal.
It truly is. It is a rager.
Yeah.
It's a Halloween rager in the undead lands.
Kids are crumping.
Someone's making out on the couch, for sure.
Someone's got a lampshade on their head. There's a super soaker indoors. It's crazy.
It's wild. It's fucking wild. They offer him a special donut, if you will. Which I was expecting a different kind of party at that point.
Oh, you thinking like an edible?
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna get, now you're high.
I thought they were going to give him a Hertz donut.
Oh, that would have been cool if it was like bully hell.
Great.
Yeah,
it kind of is, but I think it would have been really funny if it was just like bullies, just like all like legitimate bullies, like not even like what they do to him, which is prank bullies.
Yeah,
what they really do to him is prank bullying.
Also, I love that to RL, a donut, it represents the ultimate purity. Like it is this beautiful thing that is repeatedly sullied. Like, donuts are always seen as like the most trustworthy thing in his books. Like, here, have a donut, and then either, oh, I'm allergic to donuts or something.
Right, right. If a donut is besmirched like it is in this book, it's the ultimate sin, and it is besmirched. They give him the special donut, and he bites into it, expecting a delicious treat. Turns out it's got worms inside of it, and then Norb and some other kid decide to grab him and force feed him this donut, in which we are given a recounting of Chuck Palahniuk's level of gross outness. You know,
it's a brutal scene, and I wrote in all caps in my notes, "Eat it, Brandon."
Eat it. Like, I was into. This is our victory lap for us. This moment.
Yeah, it's cathartic because you the reader have to hate Brandon at this point. So I guess he's getting his literal just desserts, but.
Nice, Chad.
Thank you. But like it's still not even what Brandon did to other people, right? Like it is just, I think you called it a Chuck Palahniuk thing, is very accurate. It was just like, I felt the worms. I had to start chewing down on them and felt them sliding down my throat. Like, gross. That's genuinely gross. This is more fucked up than most Goosebumps stories.
This whole book is more fucked up. Yeah, because they do this, then they shove his face into what they say is an apple dunking barrel, but it turns out to just be a sea of cockroaches.
Were you guys okay during this portion? I know
I did not enjoy it.
It was
this is a rough time.
It was pretty gross at this point, and they're telling him he has to bite an apple. So he bites into a mouthful of cockroaches.
Mouthful of cockroaches.
And it also describes the cockroaches going into his ears, which is one of my biggest fears.
As someone who had a bee in my ear, it's terrible. And
what?
Yeah.
Whoa! Yeah. Wait, how long did you have a bee in there?
We stepped on a hive one time, and the bee flew in my ear and stung me inside my ear canal. It fucking sucked.
Jesus Christ, Paul.
It's a pain.
I don't know if I could pick myself up and continue on from there. I gotta be honest.
I screamed, yow, like a cartoon. There was no other way to
Sorry,
react.
that happened to you.
There was no...
But, Paul, the fact that you're here and talking to us is an inspiration to me. I just gotta be
Yeah.
honest. That sounds like the worst fucking scenario.
When you're ready to make my movie, I will give this the full story.
That bee fucking like made that shot down your exhaust port. Like he fucking got it.
Yes, I was like shooting womp rats to that bee.
Paul can't see without his glasses. He needs his ass.
Is that a standby? No.
That's my girl.
Yeah.
My girl, I mean, yeah.
The kid's killed by bees.
Kid killed by bees movie. That was the movie we all saw and all cried at in the movie theater. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow more scarring than the bee stinging me inside of my ear. That movie.
Yeah. Oh man, when she kisses his like dead body at the funeral and runs upstairs. Oh, so sad.
It's a rough way to go, being killed by bees.
Killed by.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I always go to the special part of the cemetery, the killed by bees part, and I pay my respects to the people who were killed by bees.
That would be kind of fun. That would be kind of fun if the cemetery was like kind of curated like that, like a record store.
Fell down God's gaping butthole.
Yeah, spewed until they die, or whatever, you know.
Very ghastly crumb tinies.
Sorry, what is that reference?
Guess an Edward
Edward Gorey, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I should look that one up.
Oh, you haven't seen?
Yeah,
I'm surprised you haven't seen Edward Gorey. Wow.
I know. Heidi, the girlfriend Heidi, is obsessed with Edward Gorey. I should look that up.
Yes, that was right in Heidi's wheelhouse. I feel.
Oh yeah, ghastly crumb tinies. Tight. It's tight.
Let's go, buddy.
It's just an alphabet poem story thing. It's cool.
Yeah,
I love it. So Brandon is getting waterboarded.
Yeah,
basically.
Brandon Plush is tortured with cockroaches, has to bite into the juiciest bug, a cockroach, and then but does it and survives, and then is forced to play Snake Twister.
Yeah, okay, this is where they lost me.
How do you top a mouthful of cockroaches though? Like there's no third beat.
Snake Twister should have been first. Snake Twister was the least scary of the three.
I thought they were doing something interesting with Twister at first because like, oh yeah, they're name checking an actual like game you can buy, as opposed to something that was invented in the 1800s,
right?
And I get, as someone who's claustrophobic, and who never gets invited to play Twister because I was a big boy.
I thought that was what was going to happen too, because the body of the person above Brandon Plush begins to grow heavy as he is encumbered by the arms wrapping around him, and I was like, oh, they're going to do like a squishing thing, and it's going to be scary because it's claustrophobic, but they don't go in that direction. It
was genuinely working where they're like kind of like each kid is like locking
taking
arms
an arm
in
away,
there, and there's no sexual tension to this whatsoever.
Not at all.
And for whatever reason, when it just became like, and then the limbs became snakes, I'm like, okay, so none of this even matters. If this is just Nightmare on Elm Street, anything can happen. I don't care.
Right.
That's where it lost me personally.
Right. Yeah, it happens.
Yep. I mean, there are many exit points for this fucking story to lose you, or I'll make sure of that. But like, yeah, kids into snakes on a Twister thing just sort of felt a little bit like, third thing, whatever. So Brandon sees his exit and runs out, and we get like a really beautiful line about this Netherverse afterworld place.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Black trees swayed silently against a charcoal sky.
That's great.
I like that a lot.
That's great.
That's great.
Good imagery, RL. I actually quite enjoy that.
RL has some solid images in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, crunching down on some bugs in your mouth sure stuck with me.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I find when RL is allowed to be like kind of agrarian and talk about like the seasons and like trees and weather and that sort of thing, he's actually quite poetic.
Yeah, there's a great moment in this where he's walking home kicking his school bag with his feet, and as he goes through the fallen leaves of fall, and it's cool and it's nice and it takes you back. It's a very good evocative picture.
Yeah, I wonder if RL was like secretly the, Norman Rockwell poet type guy, but he just found writing gross out books for kids to be more profitable.
I think that's exactly.
I feel like if RL wrote this one, he was getting some. I don't want to say getting his rocks off. I think he was getting something out of him by really like punishing this kid.
Right.
There was a lot of like this is like an Eli Roth movie or something where I'm like, is this just for you, dude?
There
Like,
was
I
a
don't
Brandon
understand.
Plush in his life. I'm telling you, there exists a Brandon Plush in his life, and he is taking out all of
I
his
think you're right.
vengeful anger upon him in this book.
Yeah, but in a way that your editor will allow you to do.
Yes.
Eating cockroaches is fine.
I'm surprised how far he went with this one. We're about to get to the point.
Kids can't drink the beers, but they're allowed to be force-fed bugs.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So a bunch of zombies spring up from the ground.
For some reason, but it's cool.
Yeah, it sounds abrupt, but that's just how we do. We're closing out the book. There's only so many pages left.
Yeah, I don't know what the zombie arms really were supposed to do other than scare him to run across back to the ravine and to make the jump.
I thought it was like a tease, maybe because they're like yelling, "Take me with you." So I'm like, oh, this is definitely, if you haven't picked up that this is the afterlife,
Right.
This is other dead people saying, "Bring me back to the other side."
Right. True.
Yeah, Bring Me to Life starts playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he makes his way to the ravine. He looks back and he sees the kids from the party, including a girl in a monkey costume, which I just find to be the most wonderful imagery as well.
Well, that's the girl that's going to do like really fuck you up, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think RL does something really subtle here that is fun, which is when people are wearing generic Halloween costumes like vampire, monkey, non-branded stuff,
mummy,
you're not in reality. You're in some sort of alternate weird like 1950s world or something.
Okay.
When they're wearing Darth Vader, Disney princesses, that sort of thing,
you're in
then
90s.
You're in actual reality.
Right.
Where everyone's wearing branded content that they don't know that they're just an advertisement of because they're children.
Damn.
Yeah, it definitely evokes a different era. I mean, I guess we'll also find like these kids died who knows how long ago, and they just have Halloween parties forever,
right?
Or maybe just on Halloween,
right?
So he looks down the ravine and he sees a body, and he's like, "Oh no, Cal followed me and he fucked up. No, Cal, my hubris. Oh wait, no, that's me."
That's me down there.
He can't process for the first bit of it that he has died, and it takes him a really long time, but he finally gets there. He realizes he's
like an
dead.
idiot can't fucking process you died. You fucking chump.
Process your own death, you fucking dumb ghost.
I thought this is potentially the most like visceral thing. He kind of wrote around it, but like he is looking down. I wish I had saved the page where he describes the body like wrapped around the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a fucked up corpse.
This is the most graphic death. I mean, has a child ever really died in one of these books? I don't think so, right?
If it ever does, it's always like they got transformed into something,
right,
or they disappeared. But this is like looking at a child's corpse.
No, he's a ripped grocery bag of wet meat. That is all that's remained of him.
They talk about his body plopping when he moves it around. It's described as plopping. It's fucked up. So
that's
like
amazing.
he's looking down and Norband shows up with the friends and they're taunting him. And he's like, please, let me go back. And they're like, no, you're stuck here. And then Norb offers him a deal. If you go back to the other side, you're allowed to if you can save 3 people that are being frightened, you will be allowed to have your life back. You can return to the regular life and leave the afterlife. To which,
boy, this is oddly specific rules.
And you have 1 hour.
And you have 1 hour to do it. Yes, and you must do it within 1 hour. And Brandon's like, yeah, I'll fucking do it. And he's like, all right, cool. And then we have a little false start because he goes down to his body, plays with it, it plops around a little bit. And he's like, I can't do this without my body. And then Norb's like, all right, you can have your body. And then he's got his body back. And then he's on the other side he climbs up the other side of the ravine, only to see that the dogs are gone at this point. And he hears Cal inside being tortured by the dogs. So he runs in, draws aggro. Fully draws aggro, is assaulted by 2 dogs, and is never bit on the skin, which I'm like, if you were attacked by dogs, they're not just getting genes, but they only get genes.
Well, maybe Mr. Benson trained his dogs to subdue rather than kill.
Subdue and not kill,
sure.
Yes.
That's why they're going for the cuffs and whatever. They're just trying to pin the perp to the ground.
We stand a king, all right? Mr. Benson is the best.
Non-lethal takedowns only, boys.
I feel like he's got a tattoo on his back that says "No more deaths" or something like that. Like he's killed enough. He's retired. He's just like, I gotta make some lives better instead of taking them away.
He was in Kosovo and he decided to try to help people rather than like earn more. I also kept thinking, like, at some point, any part of the fact that Cal is puppeting a destroyed, I was like looking for, like, this is my reference, monkey bone, where like the body is just still fucked up, but Cal, like,
oh right,
he's like cracking it back into shape, and like Chris Kattan, and no, his body's just back to full health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
oh yeah, it's back to full health supposedly, seemingly, except for the dog's fucking it up. But so Cal escapes. Brandon Plush realizes that dogs love candy, which is not true. It actually kills them.
So he kills
Brandon
some dogs.
Kills 2 dogs by poisoning.
So he kills 2 dogs by poisoning them and escapes the dogs.
He kills 2 non-lethal dogs who are just trying to be good boys and defend their pack. And then he runs off to find someone else to help. He finds Vinny, who's being menaced by a ghost that's head has been split like vertically.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, this is another book.
Yes.
I thought this was like, well, there's like 15 pages left in this or whatever. I don't know. He's gonna just find them being bullied.
Chad, I was with you. I was like, how is this gonna wrap up after this? This is wild. Because it goes in a completely different direction at this point.
Vinny is encountering a different story.
Right. Vinny has his own book. Vinny has his own book that we're missing out on. Yeah.
This haunted house, Kevin, you were just describing it. It is a really interesting ghost where like you can see its brains through its skull and it's like stomping around. This is something from like The Evil Within.
Right.
It's a great design for a ghost. It doesn't deserve the 3 pages that it gets.
Right.
Like,
and to be called a quote unquote ghost's pet, which is the thing that I didn't know existed.
Yeah, it turns out the house is the actual ghost, and we didn't have time to dive into what that means.
Right.
When Brandon shows up to do his headless routine to try and scare off the ghost just kind of seems insulted and walks away.
Yeah.
Brandon Plush is being culturally insensitive to this ghost by pretending to be a ghost.
Yes, definitely.
To this ghost. And I think you're right, Kevin. I think this ghost, the ghost pet, is like, well,
I think that's being super like weird about it. Like that's being kind of fucked up by calling it the headless ghost a pet. But
yeah,
he's just gone.
He gets out. He pieces, and then he sicks his owner, I guess, because he's the pet on them, which is the whole fucking house. And we have a really elongated sequence of the house closing in. It's the trash compactor sequence of Star Wars, but like really long.
These pages are a blur to me. I couldn't even like recognize what was happening here.
Vintage RL, where it's not a lot happening, but a lot of words to say it, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just like really elongated. He's reaching for a flashlight for like 2 pages, where it's like he picks it up, tries to turn it on, it doesn't work, the batteries are dead, drops it, picks it up again, bangs it, the lights come on, then suddenly it's working, right? And then like all of that could have been accomplished in 2. I get that they're trying to build tension, but I'm sorry, it's not working.
It's a lot of things almost happening.
Exactly.
This feels a lot like RL was kind of like, I don't know how I'm going to wrap this up. I got 20 pages.
Right.
Poltergeist house, maybe.
Right.
And then, well, that's the second one. So how do I top that? Maybe the third one is just a girl's being bullied. Yeah, like it's just really tonally whiplash.
Well, yeah, it's this thing where he like keeps doing like this rule of 3 thing, but the second one is always way too big for the third one to like improve on.
Right.
He goes worm donut to cockroach dunk to snake twister, and then from dog attack to ghost within a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And now just some assholes who are better organized than him. Because like his last encounter to try and get like one more frightened kid saved tonight is his own sister is being menaced by bullies and like really getting kind of messed up because her candy's getting stolen and her arm's getting twisted behind her back. It's really fucking mean.
And Brandon being still a piece of shit and proving that this is not any sort of Christmas Carol situation where he's learning any Brandon Plush, I'm sorry, is not learning any sort of lesson. Doesn't go, man, they're picking on my sister. Only I pick on my sister. No, he doesn't say that. He goes, Brandon Plush says, there's one last person being frightened. I can get out of this for myself. I don't care about her. I care about me. Me now, me.
He's a full He's a full sociopath.
Yep.
Yeah. And so he like runs up and tries to do the headless routine to scare the bullies, but they immediately see right through it because they're not children. And Brandon doesn't know how to combat such a clever foe.
They get Elden Ring. They thought they had the moveset, and then the boss was delaying its attack an extra couple of seconds and fucked him up.
Bonk.
God, what a hell delayed attack. Yeah.
I have time for a full combo here. No, you don't.
No. Do one hit and get back. Do one hit and don't get greedy. Don't do it.
Don't overcommit, Brandon Plush.
So what exactly happened here? Because I got confused about the physical geography of what happens to Brandon the next page.
They were going to make him climb a tree, I guess, as punishment for messing with them, and now he wishes he had his big 7-foot-tall friend Cal to help him, but he doesn't. So he's getting menaced by some bullies, and then his timer runs up, and his body reverts to its splashy ravine quality, and his arm crumbles off in a bully's hand.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
Okay, I read that as his head came off, therefore the titular Headless Halloween, and was very confused. Okay, his arm just broke off. Got
and
it.
his spirit just ejaculates out onto the bosom of heaven. And he's gone. He's not part of the corporeal realm anymore. But he's like, I helped 3 people. But even though I didn't do it quite in the time limit, but I still did because those bullies aren't like bothering my sister anymore. So you gotta let me go back to the land of the living. And the ghosts are like, oops, just
joking.
Well, yeah. This one detail of he made it back home. He's a ghost,
right? But
then he decides to run back and jump over the ravine again. So at this point, the ravine means nothing,
right?
Yeah.
I just remember going like, Brandon, what are you doing? Like, don't step across that threshold.
Well, yeah, it's great because he's like, I did it, and he's yelling at Norb across the ravine, and Norb is like, come here, and fucking idiot Brandon Plush jumps back across. Like you said, Chad, it's just like, we know what's happening, Brandon Plush.
This is where we finally, way too late, get the reveal of I think he takes off 2 masks here.
He takes off the one of a kind mask to reveal that he has been Brandon the whole time. You didn't pick up that I was Nordband, aka Brandon. I really got you.
Nordband.
And then reveals that he is also a ghost underneath the Brandon face. That was the mask as well. And he's actually just a ghost. And all the kids take off their masks, their ghost, and Brandon Plush says, wow, that's fucked up. Hey, want to be friends about it and go torture people? Cool. I got everything I wanted. I didn't learn anything. Cool. Goodbye. Episode over.
Yep, that's just that. That's it.
That's it. So, like, here's my problem with this book of many, but this is my main problem, is that this book is giving you a shitty main character because you're supposed to want to see the main character suffer. Then it makes the main character suffer as you expect it to. And then it only serves you with a circumvention of that at the end, which is just a fuck you to the reader, not to the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think RL ends it here to escape like a fair bit of censorship, I guess, or to comply with censorship or something. Like, I think probably what happens next is they haul the cockroach tub back out, and they're like, "Yeah, how about we hang out here for a bit?" I don't think the ghost council is going to
give him what he wants.
No, he's a very low-ranking ghost at this point.
I would imagine they're going to bury him underground like those other zombies for a while. Like, you have to spend a decent amount of time underground being just, like, trod upon.
Oh, you think it's like a cool kids club where only certain ones get to hang out and party?
Yep.
Also, is Norband just, like, the reverse of a guardian angel? Is he a guardian devil?
Guardian demon?
He, like, exists to punish you in hell. Like, he's a demon with your name on it, or whatever.
Oh, I like that.
Though the actions that Brandon Plush does in his time, I don't know, he's given Clemency a hall pass to go use his form again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does help make things better, but like Paul, you said, I was frustrated with those last 40 pages you read, didn't matter.
Didn't do much.
Didn't do anything.
I think if you wanted to end this book on a more like chilling, twisty note, end it at "Oops, just joking,"
Right.
and then let it hang.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Be confident in "Oops, just joking."
Or end it at the Halloween party, right? Like he goes across, he jumped the ravine, he finds out he's dead, like you died, like just that whole ping-ponging back and forth was unnecessary.
Instead of making him go back to the real world to save 3 frightened children, he should have had to do continually more degrading acts in that world and then done them all and been tortured and then had the "Oops, just joking" at the end. That's what I would have liked to have seen.
I know we have the benefit of living in the year of our Lord 2022 and being like as ironic as we want to be and not having to write under the constraints that RL wrote.
Yes.
And I know we're being armchair authors and editors right now, being like, this is all the stuff you could have done, and maybe there are very good reasons for him to be like, no, you couldn't. But this one, yeah, it just ends like a little bit of a fart for me.
Yeah. It's a little fuck you to you at the end.
If we had liked Brandon, I think I would have dug the well, now the king of Halloween gets his ghost buddies to hang out with.
I don't know how you write a book where Brendan is likable. He has to be a terrible, terrible piece of shit.
Yeah, he would have to have been like the Dexter of it all, where like he loves to scare, but he only scares bad people.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
Like I only kill people that are fucked up.
I'm
so
into
like
that.
You know, Mr. Mountain is the worst teacher, and he takes up kids' homeworks and rips it up, and it says you didn't turn in your homework. And then Brandon's like, I'm going to scare that guy.
That guy
like,
deserves a scare.
that
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah. Oh, I'm into that. I think that this book is really fucked up because not only does Brandon Plush get what he wants at the end of the book by being able to be maybe he's tortured for the rest of it, but I read it as he got to do whatever the fuck he wants. The final gift that he gave his sister Maya was that she got to watch him fall apart and die again in front of her eyes.
I thought about that. I was like, those kids are going to... That body is still there.
That's there.
Like in someone's yard.
That's their trauma forever.
And now Maya has to go to a therapist and be like, I wish I could say it was actual horror or sadness when I saw my brother's body explode into garbage. But more than anything, I felt relief. I felt good. He wasn't going to scare me anymore. And that was the most fucked up thing about it happening.
Things have been better since he died. Yeah. Poor Mr. Benson coming home to find like sick dogs and chunks all over his house. Like
I know. The dogs probably vomited as well. It's probably vomit all over that house.
That's the legacy of Brandon Plush. Trauma and vomit.
Damn.
Put that on his gravestone.
Yeah. Can you put him in the trauma? My body will be put in the trauma and vomit section of the cemetery.
File me under T and V.
Either put me under T and V or put me in the head fell off section.
I think that's been an episode of Goosebuds.
That's
boys.
a buzz. That's a Headless Halloween.
That's the most headless this Halloween's going to get.
If you want to check out more episodes, of course, we have the full feed on all podcast services. We've already hyped up Camp Goosebuds. We don't always just talk about video games. We'll probably talk about Elden Ring, and you can access that by pledging and supporting the show on patreon.com/goosebuds.
And Ice Church. Could learn about Ice Church if you sign in to our Patreon. If you don't know what Ice Church is, get on Patreon and find out. It's great. You can join it.
Do it.
You can also check out, we are cooking up some spicy new merch items, but we still have everything available on goosebuds.store. Some wonderful apparel,
stickers, the mouse pads, maybe
knives, swords, blades of all kinds. Get the official Goosebuds knife. Is there one? Do we make it? Is there demand? I don't know.
You'll have to check the store to find out.
Do you listening to this have a knife company that you want to do a branded deal? Hit us up.
We will only brand a Bowie knife.
Ooh.
Okay.
Exclusively for stabbing buoys out in the ocean?
For stabbing ghosts.
Eldritch daggers only, please.
Yeah.
I'll only put my name on a Morgul blade, okay?
Yeah, it's a GDW, guys, a ghost defense weapon. Yeah, so buy our knives, please, at goosebuds.store.
Anything else, boys?
I think that's it.
I think that's it. I need to go torture every loved person in my life with the pranks now.
I need to go throw up over some furniture.
That's fair. I need to pump a dog's stomach, so I guess I'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. This episode of Goosebuds is brought to you by our wonderful Patreon supporters. They live forever in the Book of Names.
The Book of Names.
Starting with Stefan Jive Turkey Kuwabara,
Hollis Hornbeak.
Cameron Murphy Audio,
Michael McDowell.
Hey Josh Robb,
Mickey C.
Nathan Dolzal,
Kelly C.
Mike Lanteri,
Buddy Morrill.
Alicade,
Mel Dipson.
Zane Keith,
Afsheen.
Danky McStanky,
Low Belly Hate Me.
Dango Twists.
Brian Wells.
Zenticles drives the Zamboni machine at the Ice Church on weekends.
Yes.
Zenticles. I guess I was going to say you had to get past this, but I allow it. Thank you for keeping the Ice Church smooth.
Nice. Stealth Bates.
Patrick Reynolds.
Robert Moon.
Jason Crooker.
Clay Castle.
Miguel Pardo.
John Keaty.
Calf.
Third Sergio.
Chad will make more Paranoia Shop the third. Will I, though? Question mark.
Sniggy.
Ishak Arifin.
Gregory D. Warren.
Alan Saylor.
Cody Redfield.
Bradford Coulter.
Aiden. Alexander Dice.
Reinfected.
Jar Jar Slinks.
Justin Wagman.
Chosen One.
Cardboard Walk.
Levi Than.
Up and Champ.
Jonas Eggman.
Alicia Grafe.
Maloyster.
Carl.
Something I love, broccoli. Hey, pause for a second. I gotta get fall off.
Every time I think my brain's broken. The John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation.
Elusive Koala.
Yanni Markovina.
Joe.
Brooke X.
Bezus Christo, or aka Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think that's a canonically approved version of the pronunciation of it.
Yeah.
Christian Van Skeever.
Drew Applegate.
Jeremy Lowe.
Brian Hobgood.
Zach Connor.
Trent Davis.
Patreon_donator, yo.
Joe quotes Spooky Digital Ghost Tierney.
Tom Whittam.
Jonas Blatterman.
Andrew Jadsack is wondering if Zankeith can consistently pull off their namesake spinning pile driver move. If so, impressive.
Pretty impressive. Lord Cornwallis.
Carson Birkenbean.
Murphy P.
Paul Grasso.
Tevin Ticklebean is your new best friend.
Joe, regular name, Scott.
Sean Minogue.
Rushy Glenn.
Ooh, that feels like a new one. Have we had a Rushy Glenn before?
That's an adapted name.
Rushy Glenn, love it for you. Wiggle it.
John Pigeon Hat Barber.
Chip Handsome.
Matt McClellan.
Vincent Modica. My voice cracked.
Oh, I like it.
I didn't plan for that.
You just became a real boy.
It only took 32 years.
Luke Canoodles.
Hugh Bolin.
Zam Bambino.
Alex Moon, the robotic dog.
Sarah Kemp.
Tanya Turtle.
Brett.
Adam, you goofed.
Juan Jalapeno.
Nathan Remick.
Need more kimchi.
Keith Halcrow.
Timothy Misodolakis.
Clay McCarty.
Reed Stubendick.
Matthew Stevens.
Parker Lee.
Joey Evans.
Ham_boat.
My name's Kevin. Sometimes I edit Kevin Cole's audio out of the episode and put on a mask of his face and respond to Chad and Paul. Wow, that was lucky and scary. I love it.
Carewise Gamgee.
Raymond Hernandez.
Flemily has BDE, Big Dwarf Energy.
Hell yeah. The Crowfens.
Matthew Sutton.
Uncle Cool Brother.
Cameron Hansen.
Lee Wood.
Jeffrey Owen Cahy.
Kelsey Kinnaman.
Generally depressing.
Dom Sexy Ghost, a.k.a. Captain Sick.
Russell Castberg.
Xavier Jimenez.
Brendan Arifin.
Liam Neeson's Doe.
Liam Neeson's Doe.
Been
Been wanting to watch Darkman recently. You should check that out.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, we'll talk about it.
All right.
Chris Futricus.
Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
Ben Bohan.
Streak.
Meet Virginia.
Dungeon Kappa.
Boss Garrettson.
Hey, Eric. It's gonna be all right. You're doing a great job.
Great job, Eric. Hoo. MC Hamster.
Zach Weir.
Limp Duck.
Alan G. Jussum.
Ryan Stewart.
Tobias Clark.
Michael Kupka.
Adam Muth.
Jonas Enevoldsen.
Calamity Carl.
Andre Villanueva,
Germ Juice,
Nick Johnson,
Stephen Day,
Ryan Carroll,
Jeremy Bowser,
Estamena, Lord of Paul's Pants,
Megan McCormick Mason,
The Davy Boy,
Kenny M,
Ninja Breadman,
Dr. Diarrhea.
Got little old moi, pretty French.
Nailed it. That was good.
Nice.
Peanutberg level 69. One of these days, Peanutberg, you're going to get max level. One of these days.
Yeah, that cap is brutal. Kieran McNamara,
Diet Soda.
Skelefella.
Dr. Chocula, close friend of Dr. Diarrhea.
Like they work together.
Yeah, Dr. Chocula visits you first, and then you get visited by Dr. Diarrhea.
Yeah, same hospital. Jimmy Soul,
Shacky Ledoux.
Coleman Laguza,
Lamb!
Moon Juice,
A Pair of Scots.
Levi Kidder,
David Gray.
Bryce Diary,
Matthew Brittato.
Carb Son,
I am Cornholio. I need TP for my bunghole.
SSJ Trogdor,
Some of Chad's bird friends.
Nicholas Maloney,
Midwest Indigo 13.
Mike Spaghetti Jones,
Oh, now I'm hungry.
Mm.
Thomas Jansis.
Aaron Lord,
Eric Horwitz.
Tiffany Lee,
Redemption.
Dr. Egg Drop Soupman.
I prefer Dr. Robotnik Drop Soup.
A lot
but,
of doctors. We've got a very
A
highly
lot of
educated
doctors.
group.
What a collegiate podcast. Burgers Tildeful World. Listen, guys, I just think they look nice and make me feel like a manic pixie dream girl. I agree.
Lucretia McEvil,
Elm Realm.
Mutant Astronaut,
Henry Torbert.
Chris,
Adam Knapp.
David Lynch, XXX, Brendan Fraser, 666,
Oh, Logan Derby.
Brad Schmelzer,
Soggy Newspapers.
Wagmar Wigmere,
Dakota Kemp.
John W.,
Chick.
Milk Punk, hyphenated, not hyphenated. Milk Punk, not hyphenated.
I was going to say, you are taking liberties there, sir.
It's very small font on a very big monitor.
Skullatoran.
Mr. Misfire.
Someday it'll be a Dr. Mr. Mistfire.
We'll all be doctors.
Mandy Nasty.
Llama Lad.
Kiwi of Lerv.
Serial Killer X.
976. Evil.
Philip Reynolds.
Gakenti.
Detroit Red.
Is Gakenti what that thing that they now say in the Star Wars overdub when Greedo gets killed? He goes Gakenti.
Oh man, what McClunky is that? That's
McClunky. I just hear Gakenti. In my head, that's what he says now. Nathan Gurney.
Ryan R. Davis.
McClunky. Scott Schwabel.
Kit Bush.
Why did he say it? Benjamin Luther.
That's what you say when you get shot is McClunky. Edgar's Crassus.
Put that on my tombstone. Pizza Bagel Rocco.
Died of McClunky. Dennis Wright.
No, just McClunky in quotations. Josh Howell.
Jacob Rogers.
Mr. Unimportant has good self-esteem. It's just a cool username that's never taken by someone else.
Well, glad to hear that, Mr. Important. That's nice. You'll be a doctor one day. You'll be Dr. Important. Kumo Jackoff.
Ali Safe.
Liam Rogers.
Evan Bowen.
Girthworm Jim.
Ooh. Cameron Ganzeveld.
Zach Bentley.
Vosivi.
Matt Scepter.
Greg Gervasi, a.k.a. Vita Zen.
Dakota Kipper. Another crack. Hold on, let me try that.
Big man.
Dakota Kipper.
Dom's dirted down low donger.
Anthony Rodriguez.
B.
Taraku.
Greg Musto.
Anne Marie.
Carlsville, except the pig girl sold all of the lemonade intentionally.
Wow.
Wow. She reduced her supply. Big brain.
Odin's Eyehole.
Gonna have to click on this to see if this link works.
Does it work?
Does not go anywhere. All right. Welcome, new Patreon, www.givekevinmonkeys.com, a link that does not currently work.
You know what link does work? GiveKevinMoney.com. Try it out. It's fun. But if you want to give me monkeys, I think that's too big of a responsibility, and I'm not really in the right temperate zone. But
Yo,
I appreciate it. I appreciate
you could handle like a gibbon.
I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared to handle Gibbon. This is a big step. And you know what else is a big step is Spencer Y joining us. Thanks for joining the Book of Names, Spencer.
Welcome, Spencer. Also, welcome to the Book of Names. Hi, first time, long time.
Hi. Welcome, Allie Rose.
Welcome, Sprinkle Buns.
And welcome, Gelato-kun.
That is the Book of Names. Thank you all for your love and support.
Thanks for giving us money or monkeys or however you got here. Thanks for chanting into a dark cave. That means a lot that you did that.
We love you all. Goodbye.
Is that the plot of Darkman?